This is Delhi. Please stand by for our next announcement. This is All India Radio. India is standing on the cusp of 75th year of independence. In the national program of talks tonight, we bring to you a cross-section of views from the Indians across the country and globe in the program entitled India at 75.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mhaotsav. As we prepare to enter into the 75th year of our independence, there are millions of Indians in India and in various nations of the world that are resonating with the beat of our nation. In our national program of talks, India at 75, All India Radio reached out to Indians working in various spheres across continents who are, along with shaping their own respective careers, also being instrumental in achieving an image makeover of the country. Also included in this program are our senior citizens who have seen this entire journey of the free nation. We straight away take our listeners to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. To start the program, Major General retired Shri Govardhan Singh Jambal recounts this tumultuous ride of the border state and the rise of the nation.
I am Major General Govardhan Singh Jamwal, a Dogra soldier from Jammu. I retired about 38 years ago, and I had joined Maharaja Hari Singh's state forces in September 1947, when the state was an independent country, absolutely peaceful. By the time Pakistan suddenly attacked Kashmir, I was in Kashmir. It was all peace. Dussehra was on next days, 2 days, and the preparations were going on, parades were going on. I was in the cantonment, and suddenly we found that Pakistan had attacked, and in fact, quietly at night, it was a great shock to us. But for Maharaja Hari Singh decided to send his chief of staff with the order to fight to the last man and last round. And it was he who delayed for 4 days in that the whole process of negotiations with India and finally accession, and then only the Indian Army landed on 27th October. Had Brigadier Rajinder Singh and his 100 Dogras not given us those 4 days, Kashmir was gone. So with all those days in my mind for next 73 years, I have seen all what has happened in Kashmir, in Jammu, in India. In fact, I took part in the 65 war, where Pakistan attacked us. I was in Khemkaran and my battalion there. It saved the Khemkaran area, where Pakistani division was knocked off and their pattern tanks were destroyed in such a large number, and we saw Patan Nagar in Punjab. Then in 1971 war, Bangladesh was created, and I was there in Bengal, and 93,000 prisoners were taken. It's a world record after World War II. So these are the things I recollect from the army side. But from the civil side, what I am seeing now very happily, what did not happen for 7 decades is happening now in the last 7 years. After 370 has been abrogated, there is slowly peace returning to Jammu. And we can see look at what we used to have, the stone peltings. It's a very small number now left, and I'm sure they have realized that this does not pay. And now see, many projects were all held up. Now the things are moving, and very soon we shall see the highest rail bridge over River Chenab in the world. And I'm looking forward to that day. Probably it will become a world tourist destination another 2 years' time. And also the tunnels we are making to enter Ladakh, which was cut off, and now they're also planning to have somewhere in Jojala area the sightseeing there. Probably one of the again world's highest areas will open to the world. I'm really waiting to see these tourist areas opening up. Unfortunately, Pakistan have really troubled us. We are at war every day, but things are moving, and we hope that very soon we shall probably get what we are looking for many decades. I find things are changing, and one can see not only within the country, even outside the country, the news coming from Tokyo, and finally, our army man Neeraj Chopra getting first time ever the gold medal in athletics. Wonderful. We are very proud of the army in war, and now the army also in sports. Our country is certainly everywhere. We are moving forward, and we should be happy about it.
The all time greatest medals tally at the recently concluded Olympic Games, capped by the first ever gold medal in track and field by javelin star Neeraj Chopra, has got the imagination of every Indian as we move across from the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir to Bangalore.
Olympic gold is just the right inspiration and motivation for India at 75 to achieve greater milestones in the days to come. I am Shankar Prakash, Engineer MBA, Anchor, Compeer, Master of Ceremonies, Management, Marketing, Media Consultant. India has shown to the world the true meaning of unity in diversity. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. World is one family. Being the largest democracy, India is also one of the fastest growing economies in the world. India has made giant strides in agriculture, healthcare, service, education, infrastructure, and various such sectors. Several alumni of various prestigious educational institutions in India with true Indian values have reached the top of various companies and organizations in the developed countries. India is indeed a powerhouse in information technology, biotechnology, several other industrial areas, science, technology, nuclear, space, defense, and so on. The content, quality, and technical aspects of Indian movies made in various languages are on par with world standards and is now slated to get even more better and become the best in the world. India's contribution to the world yoga is now an integral part of life in several countries of the world. Mechanization and green revolution has made India self-sufficient in agriculture and horticulture. Also, white revolution has made India the largest producer of milk in the world. Literacy rate has increased appreciably, income levels of people have gone up, the standards of living also has gone to a different new level altogether. Good governance strategies have also contributed immensely towards growth in all sectors. The ideas of the common man, people-centered development have been given utmost importance. The strengths and of course the opportunities in various states of India have been thoroughly studied, and depending upon the geography of each state, strategies have been lined up, plans have been made, and of course, in line with the nation's development, everything is executed. Public-private partnership, corporate social responsibility are also other key aspects towards progress. Thrust to domestic industries and production and reducing dependence to foreign products and companies was another important step. Atmanirbhar Bharat, Go Local, is just the right and ideal way towards further growth and progress. Thus, import substitution strategy has yielded great results. Indian professionals like doctors, engineers, and so on are held in high esteem all over the world. The Indian energy sector has also assumed leadership status in the world. After being extremely successful in various areas, India is on its way to attain glory in several other areas too.
The call for Swachhata by our Prime Minister from the ramparts of Red Fort a few years ago made many citizens have a relook at the sanitation aspect of the nation, and many volunteered to steer their respective places to become cleaner. Age was not the bar, as the 80-year-old senior citizen Ramakantji rededicated himself to the cause of cleanliness.
So Bangalore, earlier, before I left, it was called as Pensioners Paradise and a garden city, and also a lake city you can call, full of lakes and gardens and all that. When I came back in 1989-90, it was all jungle, concrete jungle, and also garbage city you can call. So I tried first my area. My area was really miserable area. And so many people not knowing, somewhere there was a railway line there. Railway line is full of garbage from the streets. So then I thought of doing some patrolling and all that on my own, and tried to, so many times I followed the maid servant to their house also. And I had a lot of arguments with the housewives and ladies and all that, but I didn't care for all that. Then the commissioner, BBMP commissioner, was very confident that I will try to do something. And I can say that I worked with almost 8 to 9 the corporation commissioners. So with the result, everybody knew my work. So, and there was one Kalyana Mandap in our area. All the time, they used to put all the plantain leaves after food and all that. Adjacent to that, there was a college, very busy college, Shetadipuram College. They used to throw everything there. 2-3 times I told him, don't throw it there because that is this thing there. Proper BBMP fellows will come to you and see that this thing. Because that time still I was not sure of zero waste management. After that, I would have given him another lecture on zero waste. At least proper disposal. And another thing, for getting proofs. Those times now, wherever garbage is lying there, before it is loaded, I used to go with a hand gloves and rake. See the whole thing, some bill or something, if you get, take that bill and go to that place and the concerned place and then play hell with them. So this way I started tackling. And of course, I became unpopular in the beginning. But after that, some like-minded people, then I formed an RWA, Resident Welfare Association. Then we took this case to see, unless we can teach segregation, that segregated waste, how to take it to the proper destination, how to take it to the proper recycling and all, is again a proper study has to be done. For this, got an order passed from Lok Adalat that every ward should have a dry waste collection center. Chief engineer was particular that we should give the design also to him because he had never heard of dry waste collection center. Then he made the design and it was all done. So dry waste collection center was the first. Then we caught hold of 2-3 rickshaw owners. We started apartments slowly and started collecting from there and bringing it to the dry waste collection center. Like this, we started about almost total about 100 apartments, you can say roughly. This is how the dry waste collection center was born first in India, I can say. Bangalore. Other places they were keeping, I think they didn't call that name. They gave a name and given to them. And then that all became in 2016, solid waste management rules it became. So for all over India. Even now, Swachh Bharat Mission, we are learning and they are trying to put everything in place. My opinion can be a model for the whole India also under Swachh Bharat Mission. That think before you throw. That will decrease the littering. And then our waste is our responsibility. But these two main sutras, everybody should remember.
Overseas Indians contribute a lot to the image of the nation. And they also take pride in the growth of India. When India stands at the threshold of 75 years of independence, we take you to Tashkent.
दुनिया का इतिहास पूछता, रोम कहाँ, यूनान कहाँ, घर घर में शुभ अग्नि जलाता, वह उन्नत ईरान कहाँ है। दीप बुझे पश्चिमी गगन के, व्याप्त हुआ बर्बर अंधियारा, किंतु चीर कर तम की छाती, चमका हिंदुस्तान हमारा, चमका हिंदुस्तान हमारा। नमस्कार, this is Dr. Manik Arora, Faculty of Tourism at Amity University, Tashkent, Uzbekistan. I wish you all a very happy Independence Day. Talking about the progress that we have made in last 75 years of independence, I would probably say that we were slow but sturdy. With the strenuous efforts of respective governments, India witnessed the remarkable growth in the field of agriculture, infrastructural development, atomic sciences, education, youth services, medical services, and whatnot. The various schemes launched in the recent past. You talk about Digital India, Skill India, Make in India, Smart City projects, Ayushman Bharat. All these respective schemes have changed the dynamics of our glorious country. On the other side, the international relations of India with other countries have drastically improved. Being an Indian citizen in Uzbekistan, I would say that both countries share a very cordial relationship. Being in professions like teachers, engineers, doctors, Indian citizens are looked upon as much intelligent and praiseworthy here in Uzbekistan. On this Independence Day, I hope our glorious nation continue to rise and once again become the Vishwaguru. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Across continents into the land of million opportunities, Indians are no doubt shaping their own career, but are looked upon as truly global citizens with their roots in India. Sahil Sharma from California.
Hello everyone, I'm Sahil Sharma. I'm an audiologist and speech-language pathologist by passion. I'm born and brought up in India. I completed my professional education in India. Currently, I'm working as speech-language pathologist in the state of California, USA. I've been working here in USA for the last 8 years now. I wish everyone a very happy Independence Day. On this, I would like to say something. India has come a long way since independence, and the journey, the growth story has been amazing ever since. There are numerous areas to talk about, but I'll start with the sports and the recently concluded Olympics. India has achieved her maximum medal count till date and an individual gold in track and field. Never thought of. India has narrowly missed few medals, and our athletes have given tough competition in sports which are alien to many. India has been proving its mettle and constantly growing in every field, for example in IT, medical, healthcare, education, scientific research, space, Ayurveda, and climate control, with special mentions to Indian women. Indian women has shown that they are no less than any individual in this world. They are leaders in corporate world, defense, space, politics, education, health, sports, you name it. At the same time, they carry, follow, and pass our rich culture and traditions. The hard work and dedication of Indians around the world is taking the growth story of India to a different level, with a lot of adversaries close to India and around the world trying every possible trick in the book to hamper our growth. But this has not dampened our spirits, and we are marching forward. Instead, this gave us more energy and motivation to overcome all challenges. India has also shown the world that it is not an aggressor, but can go to any length to protect its sovereignty. India is doing very well in identifying and recognizing its areas of improvement. For example, population, poverty, sanitation, healthcare, sustainable development, and improving overall quality of life. Indo-US relationship, is going from strength to strength based on their shared democratic values, world peace, and large talent pool. The talent has been rightfully recognized and rewarded, with Indian diaspora contributing and leading in almost every field here in USA. India's diverse culture, rich history, tradition, food, languages, etc. is appreciated, learned, and taught around the world. Yoga, spiritualism, meditation, and Ayurveda is already a testament to this world and showing a new path. India's Independence Day is celebrated all across US in numerous cities by Indian diaspora, showcasing all these rich culture, traditions, with parades and events at various times in various cities. With this, I would like to conclude, and I wish everyone a very happy Independence Day. Jai Hind.
Hello to all your listeners at All India Radio.
My name is Uday Ayagari and I'm a US citizen living in Silicon Valley in California. Emigrated from India about 20 odd years back, and I'm originally from Hyderabad, India. And naturally, a man split between two countries, one being my birth country and the other is my work country. And if I may add, been extremely fortunate to call two of the biggest democracies and progressive nations as my home, US and India. India and the Indian community is immensely respected as a nation of hardworking individuals, sincere at heart and actions, and everyone recognizes our contributions in almost every sphere of the industry, whether be it leaders of major brands in the private sector, entertainment, politics, journalism, space research, and you name it, and the list goes on. And also, with the current Indian administration and leadership doing a great, fantastic job of making our presence, if I may say, global presence felt as a budding superpower, with all our achievements back home as a global business community, ISRO's announcements and achievements in the space and beyond, and all the indigenous superiority and innovative technologies that India is responsible for. So India has earned an enviable place in the hearts and minds of most of the Americans in the Valley and outside. So I'm proud to be an American, super proud of my roots in India. Thank you.
Vanakkam. I am Maragatha Meenakshi Raja, the granddaughter of great patriot, freedom fighter, V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, popularly known as VOC. Today I am going to talk about V.O. Chidambaram. He is a Congress leader of South India, a great patriot, orator, and a disciple of Bala Gangadhara Tilak. And he was popularly called as South Indian Tilak. VOC was a popular lawyer in Tuticorin. Even before communist revolution of Russia, in 1908, VOC led the laborers of Harvey Mills of Tuticorin in their strike for wage hike and proper working conditions. During the strike, VOC made arrangements for the food and temporary employment for the affected workers. He led the negotiations and the strike was successful. Many newspapers, including Vande Mataram of Arvind Ghosh, appreciated this victory. British could not tolerate his popularity and political mobilization skills. They were waiting for an opportunity to silence him. Public celebrations for Bipin Chandra Pal's release from jail gave them that chance. British filed sedition charges against VOC as he organized that event. VOC was sentenced 40 years imprisonment. The sacrifices and the ideals of great leaders must be cherished and followed by all of us. Jai Hind.
A nation that was ruled by foreigners for centuries has turned back the entire circle of subjugation and exploitation in a course of less than 3/4 of a century.
At this stage, if we introspect, we understand that India always had the capability, has the capability to achieve much more than what it has done so far. That doesn't take away the glory, the goals which India has achieved so far. The Indians have more capability and ability than they actually think what they have. This is the important question which everyone should ask themselves and reach greater heights in life. This would go a long way towards making India and transforming India from a developing country to a developed nation. And that should be the motto of all Indians. The sincerity, commitment, dedication, perseverance, and of course, the will to excel will ensure that India, indeed, in the years to come, will become a role model for the entire world. India is one nation, many worlds.
India is truly emerging as a global leader when it enters its 75th year of independence. There is definitely a sense of gratitude at our achievements, but the nation and its citizens are also looking at the huge challenges ahead and are ready to take them up.
India at 75. You just heard the sentiments of Indians in India and abroad in today's national program of English Talks. Presented by Kiran Mishra and produced by Nitish Arora, this broadcast came to you from the Delhi station of All India Radio. Please stand by for our next announcement.